Hello YouTubers. Today I'm testing out my GoPro. I'm going to take out the Honda here as a bit of a test. Maybe say a few things about standard transmission, which is the only way to go, in my opinion, and why I dislike automatics. This here is my grocery getter, so I don't have to worry about anybody dinging my doors, parking next to me, running into me, yelling at me. It's like, you know what? You can go ahead and throw stuff at this car, or you can ding this car. No worries. I've got a golf cart behind me. This is a golf cart right here. Thing's got like, I don't know, 90 horse, 1.5 liter, I don't even know what the heck it is. It gets like 35 miles per gallon in the city, like 40 plus on the highway. I had to look really high and far to find something with a manual, because you can't find manuals anymore. Nobody knows how to drive manuals. Imagine that. So even when I went to go look at this car, the guy's like, oh, you know it's a manual, right? Like, no kidding, dude. That's why I came here. Been looking all over for a manual. Oh, man, it's almost as quick as the Corvette. Yeah, no. But it's almost as fun, believe it or not. So, why do I hate automatics and love manuals? Well, I think the main reason is it's fun. But what does that really mean? Is it fun? Why is it fun? What's so fun about it, right? Right now we're down in second. Now this doesn't have rev matching downshifting, but if I was a better driver, I could do that a little bit. But anyways, the reason why it's fun to drive a manual is because you're completely engaged in the car. Notice, I gotta use all feet and both arms to drive this. I don't have time to be drinking a 32-ounce Big Gulp, for example. Is it recording? I can't even tell. So it's blinking at me. It must be recording, but it's on some kind of screwed up thing where it stops recording after like 2 minutes or some shit. Anyways, when you're driving a manual, you're completely engaged in the car. All hands on deck, all feet on deck. There's no like jacking around with a phone, drinking a Big Gulp, wolfing down a double cheeseburger, or any of that bullshit. Okay, you actually have to drive the car, right? The other thing is, you know, they're cheaper. The manual transmission's cheaper than an automatic. It's less weight. Yes, nowadays they're not as fast, but if you're looking for fast, what are you going to do? Get an electric car? So which is it? Want an electric car? Get one. You know, we wouldn't be having a discussion about transmissions at all. You know, the only thing you care about is 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. You know, so, you know, the other thing about a manual transmission is that you always know what gear it's in. You don't have to look at the gear shift at all. You know, this is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and reverse would be down that way. I never have to look at the transmission. I always know what gear it's in, and I know what gear it's going to be in. Whereas in an automatic, your computer has to figure out what you're doing. Like if you're cruising along at fifth gear, or whatever the hell gear it is, and you floor it, your computer has to go, oh, I need to downshift, I think, to third or something. You know, it has to figure out what you want to do. Whereas when you're driving a manual, you already know you're going to floor it, so you're going to put it in the gear first before you even punch it, right? And if you do it precisely, you rev match down to the gear. Now, in the C7, it does that automatically. It does, well, it does rev matching downshifting or upshifting. You have to turn it on. You can turn it on or keep it off. I always generally have it on because it's pretty sweet. So the other thing about a manual transmission is it's just a lot more fun, and it's lighter. You know, it's a less what do you call it? It's a less complicated piece of machinery compared to an automatic. Yes, I know the dual clutches are the fastest thing on the planet. Again, that's more money, right? More expense. It's kind of a cross between an automatic and a manual. It's actually based on two manuals mated together with two clutches that swap between the gears. Oh, look at that! You can bark the tires. So another thing you can do when you're driving a manual transmission, right, and you're cruising along, you can just pop it in neutral anytime, throw some revs. You cannot do that in a automatic. Yeah, you could if you look down and you go, oh, where's neutral? Oh shit! But then you might throw it in reverse or some crap, right? I don't have to worry about that. I can put it in neutral anytime, rev anytime. I have complete control over the transmission. That's the difference. The flexibility is there, full control. You don't have that in an automatic. And then here's another thing about, okay, the dual clutch, those are the best, right? We can all agree that's the fastest. You want to race your car or whatever. What I don't get is, okay, so how would you be in, let's say you're in 5th gear, and then you want to go to 3rd or 2nd. I mean, you have to go 1, 2, 3 down, and you've got to actually see it go down. You got to count it, okay, I'm in 4, and you do 5, 4, 3, 2, I think I'm in 2. I don't have to do that shit. I don't, that's 3rd. I don't have to even think about it. You're in the gear you want to be in. It's completely different. So I've never really, got into the whole automatic. I had an automatic Corvette 92 C4. This is a beautiful car, red. It had those dish type of aluminum rims. Those are pretty cool. Fat tires, nice looking car, beautiful car, 300 horse, LT1. And I really wanted a manual, but I couldn't find one, and I needed to buy a used Corvette. I couldn't afford a new one. I could barely afford a Corvette at all, let alone a new Corvette. So looked around. I drove a manual. I really liked it. The guy sold it out from under me to a dealer like a jerk. I couldn't find another manual, and I found this beautiful red, pristine automatic, and I was like, oh my god, this thing is so clean. This thing is sweet, and it was like, oh, 300 horse. I mean, I don't really need the manual. It's got a lot of power. Well, I bought the car, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. It was a beautiful car, but it was not fun to drive. It had a 208 or some crap, 259 rear end. I mean, it had 4 gears, and the 3rd gear was the 1-to-1 ratio. So basically, you had 2 gears before you get to your 1-to-1. I mean, it was like, 1st gear would be like, I don't know, 55 miles an hour, and 2nd gear would get you to like 120 or some shit. I don't know. Anyways, it was a boring car to drive compared to my 5.0. I had a 5.05 speed. That was my first fast car, and that thing was like, to me, it was a rocket. It only had 225 horse, but it had 300 foot-pound of torque. And in that little light car, I mean, this thing had no traction control. It had no stability control. It had, no ABS. I mean, this thing, like, when you drove it, you learned how to drive a rear drive car with a lot of torque, because you get sideways in that car instantaneously. I mean, I'm talking a dry weather. In the wet, the thing was deadly. Okay? Somehow I didn't kill myself, although I came close to it. I did a 360, a couple of 360s down Fletcher Avenue once, being an idiot. I can't believe I didn't hit anything. Anyways, learned my lesson how to drive rear drive, with a ton of oversteer. That thing had oversteer like crazy. But it was a torquey car, man. I mean, it just developed torque like bam. And to me, that was incredible back in the 80s. That thing just had a ton of power, I thought. I mean, even today, they're like gold. You can't even find one. People want like 20-some thousand for some junked out LX. But anyways, I digress. You know, after my 5.0, I was just like, God, this is just not, I mean, I paid so much for that car too. Like, Jesus, this is really not doing it. It's beautiful. I love driving and being in the car, but the driving experience was not there for me. I was just like, damn. And I didn't drive it much. It was a garage queen, like my current Corvette. And then I was like, you know, and then I had my first kid. I was like, I already had my Mustang. I had another Mach. I had a 71 Mach 1. I mean, I had 3 cars. I was like, I got to start selling these cars off. So I sold the Corvette. Never looked back. The next car I got was I think it was, no, I bought a Prelude, a manual Prelude, 70, what the heck was that? It was a 97 Prelude. Where was I? So, my 92 Corvette, I ended up selling it. I bought a Prelude. I kind of stepped away from the V8s. That was the only time I did it. Had a 97 Prelude. Ended up getting my first one and only car wreck in it. The thing was never right after that. And then I bought the 2003 Mach 1, which is 320 horse-ish. I think it was rated at 305 or something, but it made like 325. Anyways, 32 valve, manual, of course. You know, I was like, done playing those games. You know, had a 355 rear end. That thing had a lot of torque. Really fun car to drive. I had it for 9-10 years. I loved it. Kind of a rare car. And then I had my 2013 Mustang. Obviously, that was a manual. That was a California Special. After having all those cars, I mean, to be honest, that car didn't feel like super fast. I mean, considering it was 420 horse, I mean, it would get up, once it got going, you could tell, you know, it had a lot of power, but it didn't have that off-the-line kind of violence that you get with the Mach 1. But it was a beautiful car. I mean, it was a great daily driver. I drove it every day. Beautiful. Loved every moment of it. And then I ended up getting my C7, which, you know, that had that. It has that low-end power, that off-the-line power. That's you know, very apparent. It's like instant feedback when you hit the throttle on that car. A lot of power. I mean, 460, light car, you know, sports car. I mean, it's fast. I mean, that's the fastest car I've ever driven. I personally did a 0 to 60 in 4 seconds in it. It supposedly does like 3.8 for the manual or something. It's like, you know what? I mean, this thing's quick. I mean, forget about it. 4 seconds. I mean, for the street, the thing's fast. You know, it's fun. It's got a lot of power. It's a joy to drive, and it's a manual. And I love driving a manual in it every day. So this is my weekend warrior car. I take it fishing. I can carry groceries in it. Like I said, you take this thing to the mall, you can park that close to people, no worries, man. I've had people literally park their cars on top of this car, like touching it. I'm like, you know what? It's fine. You know, I'm not going to worry about this. This is not a big deal at all. So anyways, this is my first video on the GoPro. I'm gonna do some video. I'm gonna do some. I'll do some of the Corvette and whatnot. I don't know how many people want to see another Corvette video. There's millions of Corvette videos out there, you know, C7s and whatnot. But I thought I'd do some, you know, driving the manual. Not everybody's got manuals, and you know, doing some burnouts and some cool shit like that. And then the other stuff I want to do is I'm going to do some fishing videos, which I think have got most of the views we have. You know, me and my brother have been fishing this area since the 80s, so we've been fishing here for like forever. We've got some really good spots. We've got the whole thing dialed in on how to find the fish. You know, offshore fishing, that's snapper, grouper, amberjack, kingfish, You know, we get the occasional other stuff, you know, mixed in there, cobia and whatnot. But primarily we go for grouper snapper, and then kingfish is kind of a little bit extra. And then, you know, we go to the Keys once in a while. We catch tarpon and mahi-mahi primarily, and, you know, do a little scuba diving. So that's the story. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, whoever watched it. You know, I know I have like 1,000 subscribers, but probably I'll get like 3 views. But I just want to say, oh, by the way, Happy New Year. It's January 1st. Oh, just give me some feedback. You know, tell me what you want to see. You know, do you want to see driving, fishing? You know, what do you want to see? You know, we'll shoot that video next. All right, I'm out. Okay, we're gonna do a 0 to 60 in the Honda. Okay, here we go. We're at a full stop, and whoa! Oh, I parked second. It's 40, 45. There's 50, 55, 60, and we're in 4th gear. Woo! This thing is quick, man. Joking. Oh, this guy's like, what the hell's up with you? It's fun. Okay, we're gonna do a rev match downshift. Ready? And there's 4th, and we gotta get it into 3rd here, and we're gonna give it a. Oh, I got that pretty good. We're in 2nd, and coming up on the turn.